So the softening beam that I use, one of many, this one here is actually a piece of hickory that's holding a stainless steel blade on there. And I'll give you a better look at that right here. It's not held together with any glue or any screws. I actually cut the kerf really narrow inside of the wood, so I had to really hammer down hard. I put a piece of wood over the top of this so I didn't nick the blade at all. And it's a very dull blade, just to sit it down in there. And you can't really lift this out. I'd have to pound it out with another piece of wood. It's in there for a good while. As you can see, I smoothed and rounded over the hickory planks, and this is done on both sides so I don't catch any splinters in me or in the hides I'm working with. And the whole thing is just like an upside down T here. I've got a little 45, only need on one side, but it's got plenty of strength and stability there, so I can rock it back and forth with my feet or keep it real straight and still and get as close as I need to for when I'm really rocking on with the hide. And to give you an idea of what I mean by rocking on with the hide, I've got a piece of bark tan here. A lot of times you want to get some good friction going just to work them fibers open a little bit more, whether you're working with brain tan or bark tan. And you want to pay close attention to them thin edges. Those thin edges there, they need a little bit more attention and stretching out those fibers. And this is a really narrow piece. It's the equivalent of using your fingernail really tight to try to pull it. And it's going to do a much better job and not so painful as trying to use your own fingernails instead. This is our big fingernail. And it will open up the hide this way, and it will allow me to hold a hand or just one digit as I pull the hide off this way, and I can get really tight, really close on the inside for the end result of getting our edges worked. Because these things here, the edges, whether it be bark tan or brain tan, want to dry out first. And instead of trying to have to go around the whole edge plucking like this, we'll just give the edge a little work this way, and then maybe a couple of these. Plus we can come back on our more stubborn areas, like up here, and see if I can find a really good spot here. Like with our neck. Our neck is really thick, and sometimes they're not so pliable, and they need a little extra intimidation just to get them back and forth and working. That'll take out any really rough spots underneath and smooth them over for our membrane. As you see with the bark tan here, I'm just working on the membrane side underneath, but never on the grain, because the grain is fragile. It's beautiful. We get that wonderful orange peel texture to it, but we never want to work on the grain side, because even though this is dull, it can still ruin our grain. And after we work so hard at trying to get a beautiful hide, full grain leather and a nice beautiful orange peel texture, the last thing we want to do is hurt it. So I hope that answers your question about the beam, how well it does for different hides, and what exactly it is and its construction. So cool. If you have any more questions, drop me a message.